This is Bengals Nation with Coach Marvin Lewis, presented by Tri-Health.
Welcome to another edition of Bengals Nation. Jen Dalton here alongside Bob Herzog at the Holy Grail. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, just like we did. And the Bengals have been feasting upon their opponents as of late, and we have a chance at another win.
How about that, going back out on the road? I have to tell you, the Bengals have not been sleeping the last few weeks, and so you got to shake off the tryptophan, okay? You got to shake it off like Taylor Swift, because our show is loaded tonight. We've got Kevin Zeitler hanging out with us. Offensive lineman is our guest. He'll be over at the Eichler Golf Cars autograph table tonight. Up on the Antonelli College stage, we have a great band. It is Sunday Drives. The Bud Light football toss, Jen, will continue to change lives tonight.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable. And then Marvin's Must, presented by Northgate Mall, will be along as well.
All right, time now to send it over to Brad and Coach. And Brad, the guys have 3 on the road. We're going for the 3rd, and we are going for the 3rd win.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
Hey, thanks, Jen. Yeah, 3 road wins in a row. I like the sound of that. Let's see if we can work that up. We'll talk about it over the next half hour. Coach is going to break down the last win in Houston. We'll do a lot of Tampa talk as well. Lots to do in the next half hour. First, let's send it back to the Holy Grail and Mike.
All right, thank you so much, Brad. We're joined tonight at the Eichler Golf Car autograph table by Bengals offensive lineman Kevin Zeitler. Kevin has fought off a pretty serious calf injury to get himself back into the regular rotation of playing consecutive weeks. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about a visit to Tampa Bay to see the Buccaneers tomorrow. All that and more with Kevin Zeitler later in the show. Let's send it back to you and Coach Lewis.
Mike, thanks very much. Coach, I think after the game you mentioned this whole idea of arriving in the NFL isn't really a thing, so your win in Houston wasn't that big a deal. But the fact of the matter is you hadn't performed well in Houston in playoff situations. So that hangs over shoulders, whatever it may be real or perceived. It's a decent win for in Houston, especially going forward in the schedule that you have in front of you.
Well, it's a win because, I mean, it was a good win because it was the game at hand. And But there's no perception of anything hanging. Most of those shoulders get to be new all the time, unfortunately. So, so each experience is a new experience.
Well, congratulations on that experience. We will talk more about the Texans' win with the coach in just a little bit. First, let's hear what the players have to say about facing the Buccaneers.
With their backs against the wall, knowing, it's pretty much an elimination game for them. They can't put themselves at 2-10. They got to, continue to try to string some wins together and try to, put themselves so they can win their division. So we know how they're going to come out and play. We know how tough they are defensively up front. They got a lot of great defensive linemen up there. So, we got to prepare ourselves similar to last week.
Well, it's No Shave November, and that reminds us all about men's health. But Tri-Health wants to remind men of all ages it's time to schedule your annual physical. Did you know that only 30% of men get an annual physical? Come on, guys. We need to improve that. At your annual physical, ask your doctor what screenings are appropriate for your age. Also, know your family history. It will help your doctor provide appropriate care. So don't just use the month of November as an excuse not to shave, guys. Make sure you schedule your annual physical with a Tri-Health primary care doctor today. It's time to start living better with Tri-Health. Time now to send it back to Brad and Coach.
Jen, thanks very much. Coach, a lot of good things to take away from this game. Let's start with A.J. Green. When A.J.'s good, A.J.'s good. 12 catches, 121 yards. He changes your offense.
Well, it was a good day, and he came out and set a tempo right away, and he had a lot of third down conversions, which were huge in the game. Mo Sanu had a couple big third down conversions, as well as Gresham, that kept the drive alive. And, you need those guys all to be working and hitting on all cylinders.
Ever since the hamstring injury, coming back from it, Ray Maluga kind of playing with hair on fire, and there has been a lot of notice. This guy looks different. What's different about Ray Maluga for you?
Well, he's come in and he's done a great job of playing and playing within the scope of the defense. And again, he was a big contributor in both the running game and had a big interception in the pass game.
I asked you, do you have to plan for J.J. Watt? You said, yes, you do. So you got to go kudos to the offensive line because, for the most part, J.J. Watt was a fairly non-factor for you.
Well, he's always going to jump around. He's got such great quickness. He can jump around. He can come around an edge and still made a couple plays in the running game that way. And so I think it took a little bit, too, for our guys to get used to the speed of it because it's hard to replicate his speed in practice.
When we see you next, we're going to be in the team room breaking down the highlights. Marvin will have some positive things in the game film, I'm sure of it. before we do that, let's send it back to the Holy Grail of Mike.
All right, back here at the Eichler Golf Car Autograph Table with the offensive lineman Kevin Zeitler. Kevin, you've been dealing with an on and off calf thing all season long. Is it one of those things where you just treat it daily, get you to Sunday, or is it coming along and you're better now?
It's been a frustrating thing all year. Just keeps aggravating itself, but I've been on a roll right now. I actually made it past 2 games in a row, so I'm hoping that's taken care of and I won't have to deal with it anymore.
You know, you guys have had an unusual amount of injuries this year to key guys, but when this happens, you also learn a lot about certain things. Mohamed Sanu can be a number 1. Jeremy Hill is legit. Jermaine Gresham, you can't sleep on him. That has to make you guys better coming down the stretch of a tough playoff run.
I think so. I mean, every team always says next guy up, but it's rare for a team who can actually do it, and I think we're proving we can.
All right, Kevin Zeitler, our guest here at the Eichler Golf Car Autograph Table. More with the Bengals offensive guard later in the show.
We've got Sunday drives taking us out to break. Stay tuned here on Bengals Nation. Brad Marvin coming up at the telestrator.
Great job here, individual effort. This is a running play here. We bring the ball outside to Mo Sanu with the off coverage. Mo makes him miss, and we're able to get inside for a touchdown.
And Kevin Zeitler going to take some fan questions.
One of your college teammates calls you Cyborg. What did he mean by that?
All coming up on Bengals Nation.
Welcome back to Bengals Nation, brought to you by TriHealth. Come on down to the Holy Grail, Cincinnati's home for all Bengals games with 30 HD TVs, surround sound, bucket specials, and great food. This is the place to be for all Bengals games. Your search is over. You found the Holy Grail. Time now to send it over to Brad and Coach with the final verdict. They're at the Elk and Elk Telestrator, guys.
Hey, Jen, thanks. Back in the team room. Coach, good stuff to show us, I know. Lead us through the Texans.
Well, I start off, Brad, today with defense, and we'll start out with, again, defending the run. You see it's a 2nd and long play here. We come back. We get good knock 'em back by Dunlop here. We're attacking the line of scrimmage, and ball slides back, and Vinny Ray's able to make a tackle in the hole. But it's what you want to have. Good job. We want to